Hey everybody, Hellcrex here. I'm just doing a little army on parade. And since we're getting back into playing the old world, just wanted to show off some of my Chaos Demons. Demons of Chaos. This is the, 8th edition Codice army book that came out. I think this was 2012. If I remember correctly. Where is the... bright. It's bright. Wow. Yeah, it's 2012. Yeah, that's when it's come out. So, I installed new lights up above. Yeah, they're pretty bright. It's like highly luminous. Helps when I'm working, but kind of floods everything out. But I digress. All right, so we have here is the Demons of Nurgle. This is my Nurgle army. A little bit of everything here. I'm not sure exactly how many points I have. At least probably about 3,000 to 5,000 range. And when you look at it in the grand scheme of things with everything I have here, I do have a very massive Demons of Chaos army because I have all the factions. Pretty much have, you look at this and it's every army is similar in size. But let's just start off. All right, over here, you can't go to war without having a couple of great unclean ones. This is the Ultra Forge Nurgle Demon, unclean one, and this is a Forge World. I can't remember if this is actually a greater demon or this is a demon prince. I have to look at their website or look at the book. I do have a Forge World catalog, so if I looked at it, it's been a while since I had this. Basically, I got this for 40K, but it's kind of a nice little model. Has a little bit of everything on it. You can see it's got a little nurgling coming out of the barrel in the back. I painted these guys up, but this is a nice little Forge World model, and it could easily be used as a unclean one also because of the size. It's fairly large. All right, and then back here we have some Demon Princes. This is the Ultra Forge Demon Prince here. He's fairly nice. He used to be on a round base. Well, he was on a square base, then he became a round base, and I'm going to go back to a square base on this guy. He needs a least a 50-50. I probably just cut out some plastic and put them on like a 75 by 75 or something like that, or 70 by 70. Well, because a 50 by 50 doesn't seem quite big enough. And this is I think this is a Merce miniature. This is Spud. I named him Spud because he looks like a potato. And he has some demon rot fly wings on him, so I added the rot fly wings so it looks like he can fly. He spent a lot of time running around and roaming the wastelands in 40K. That's why he's got the round base, but it's a really nice model. I made the little topper for it so he could stand up a little bit better, more vertical. But he's a nasty little Spud. So I do have another one of these Ultra Forge guys here that I was going to start painting, do some work on him, make him look similar, but I probably won't do it. Might offload him a bit or something of that nature. But this is my typical paint job I have with all my guys. A little greenish brown, and then if you got any putrid skin or anything, do a really light kind of a pink. Take some white and red together and make it kind of a pink tone to it, and then you take some Drakenhof Nightshade and what's the Drushi Violet, and you go over it together and you get that bruised, nasty looking, meaty look to it. Works pretty good. A little bit of experimentation got all that. It's the same thing with this guy, you can see. where I did that same effects with them. You know, because you have all the you can see there's muscles and all that's showing through. The skin is rotted off. So did that. And that is the big guys. Now over here, now we're just move into the heralds that we have. Oh, there is one guy, he's over here. This is a unclean one, a metal unclean one from way back in the day. Your work going way back. You can see this is one of my this is how big an unclean one was back in the day. Really small. It's like, look at the size. But yep, that's an unclean one. He fits really nicely in with all my Nurglings. So it just became a pop of Nurgling. He's growing. He's expanding. But here's my heralds that I have. So if you go into the grand scheme of things, when you look at 40K, you can have more heralds in 40K than you can in fantasy. But that's why I have all these. This is Epidemus. He's on his Panicwin here. He's a little mount, so he's riding on all these little Nurglings, carrying them along slowly. But that's Epidemus. He's a nice little guy. But in the classic version that they released for the what do you call it, Old World recently, I think it was back in January, February when they released it, this would just be a standard herald on a Panicwin, so a little riding mount. But if you go back into this book here, he's now Epidemus. He's a named, so he has a whole bunch of abilities, so, which is kind of nice. So he's still on his square base. I never did take him off and put him on a round one, so that's why he's still on squares. So a lot of these models used to be in squares, and I turned around and did things. Now this, I have two of the Forge World Heralds here. This is a Forge World Herald. He used to be on a square base, then I put him on a round base. I don't know why I did that, but it'd be probably a lot more work to, probably would break him. I almost broke him the last time getting him off the square base, and then I put him on a round. But this is the other Forge World version. He's on the round base they came with. Kind of a nice little model to have around and about. So eventually he's just going to stay. So this guy here, this Herald here, might go back to a square if I can. Probably will have to chop off the base itself so I can put him on a square base. So eventually, if I get around to start playing the Old World with the Demons. And this is the actual Herald back in the day. He's kind of a nice little model. You see, they come on a small little base back then. So he has a Herald of Nurgle, actual Herald of Nurgle. That's the Games Workshop version. Now these guys here are they're more fall into the Warriors of Chaos. These guys here, this would be a Warriors of Chaos type model. So he does, I did kind of make a square off of him. You can see, I did some planking and everything, so I did some effects, so it looks like he's on a ship or boardwalk. So he's just kind of standing there with his big axe, little rust effects and everything, which I do. I make my own rust effects. And then this guy, here's another one. So he's kind of a Chaos Warrior Lord type for Nurgle. And I was using him as a Herald for 40K. But he would work really nice and as a Warriors of Chaos. So those two are probably a little more Warriors of Chaos. Now this is a Forge World Herald also. These two guys here are more for Heralds that would work for Death Guard or cultist type thing. They're more like cultist heralds type. So you look at these 4 here. Those 4 can be, but these are my primary ones as my heralds for the army. Now you go into your core choices. Here we have a whole bunch of all these would be your typical metal demons. These are the plague bearers. You know, I got a whole bunch of them. From going way back in the day. You know, some of them are still on their square bases. All these guys used to be on squares. And then I pulled them off their square bases and put them on routes so I could use them in 40K, because at one time I was playing a lot of 40K. So it's like then when fantasy basically got this, what's the word? Well, they ended it. These are all nicely painted, all my plague bearers. So here's a unit of, well, there's 25 here. These are all metals here, 25 metal plague bearers. You know, they got the leader type, or the command structure here. You got your banner, your musician, and your main leader type. And this is kind of a cool one here. I was like, some of these I think might have been, this one might have been a Necromunda model, because they used to sell some of this stuff. Picked up on the way. So there's like, I think 2 generations, maybe 3 generations of, I think there's just 2 generations of plague bearers here. And then I have, let me move Nicodemus out of the way. You got 3 units of, these are the plastics plague bearers. There's 30 of them here. Your basic plastic plague bearers. They got a nice lot of detail to them. So I did the same thing. You can paint these guys pretty quickly with the way I got them going here. And then one of them, it's like this one could also be a battle standard barrier. So I can make like 2 units of 25 easily, and then I'd have some of the extra that's like this, you know, have one of these would be a battle standard bearer for the army if necessary. So there's those 3 units there. And I already showed you the Nurglings. I got really 7. It was bought a pack of them, and the way they have them all stacked up inside of a big pile when it comes to the models. So I just kind of spread them out into a bunch of bases, just so I can have more stands of them if necessary. And they can be pretty. They can tie units up pretty quickly for their point wise. I think they got 6 or 7 wounds last time I checked out. So they can be a pain. And then obviously the old unclean one could easily be I call Papa Nurgling. Alright. And then back here, there was a time when if you have a miscast, you could cause a chaos spawn. So I got a couple chaos spawns from, you know, that could easily be used. If a spawn pops up, I got those just in case. Just a couple extra models for the game. Now here is the old Beasts of Nurgle. The new models are on what, 50 by 75 bases. These are 25 by 50s, so they barely fit on a base. You know, they got all the tentacles and everything on them. And I painted these up for a long time ago. So you're looking almost probably about 30 years ago, or whenever it was when these came out for my Chaos Army. Because at one time it was just Chaos Army, so you had demons and warriors of chaos. You know, it had access to everything. in one army. So your miniature count wasn't necessarily huge for all the different types of models. So you could have some plague bearers, you could have some beasts of Nurgle, and you have a bunch of chaos warriors, you know, a little bit of smattering of everything. So it was kind of nice. And then back here we have these are new. The blight drones. These guys did not come out until 8th edition, so they came out with that book. So these are fairly new to the grand scheme of things when it comes to models. So you can see the wings, the different colors of the wings. Basically what I did there was I painted them a nice bright silver, and then I put washes on them and blended the washes together so it has that kind of dragonfly look to them. That's what I went with. These are nice little models. So I have a unit of 5 here, and then I got a unit of 6 back there. So they can seriously tie down some units because they got a lot of wounds with them, and they can hammer something pretty hard. But right now they're on round bases. They did come with round and square bases, so you could put them on either. And I think some of them went on, like they went into these to make the Nurglings at the time. So I might have some square bases hidden around here somewhere. I got to take a look, but could easily make some square bases to go. But it really doesn't matter too much because they don't rank up at all. You can't get them to stack together no matter what kind of, if you got square or round bases with them. So it doesn't matter. It's kind of a problem. Then we got the Plague Hulk. This is your soul grinder for the army. This is the Forge World model. Let's see here. There you go. There you go. You got the basic soul grinder. This one's kind of done up in his Tzeentch colors here. I do have one that is in Tzeentch colors. I actually got this model that's in Tzeentch for my Tzeentch army. He's over in one of those boxes over there. But I do have, this is the Forge World model. I do have a lot of Forge World stuff. At one time I used to be doing pretty good. So here we go. Nice little guy. I do have an extra plague bearer that's riding on top. That's his kind of like, this is my mountain. I'm going into battle with him. He's up here, rides along. Usually sits on the horn there, like that. So kind of interesting little addition to it. And I took I did buy some blight drones, and then I converted them into stuff for my other army. You know, it's like the 40k army. So I do have some of these that I did up for 40k that have rotors instead of the wings. So, and you don't need the little riders. So he's an extra. He's running around with the that guy. But that is my Demons of Nurgle army for my Demons of Chaos army. Nice little addition. I hope Palmer will enjoy this. I might, if I decide later on to really play this army, I might rebase some of them. It kind of stands to reason. I might just leave them alone too, these guys here. But I might just rebase the metal ones to get them all on a squared up. And I don't think I'll need any more plague bearers, but you know, having 55 of the guys, that's more than enough, I would have to say. I just have to print out 3D print out some bases that would have like the round holes in them, spread them out so it kind of lock them in, and I can easily make a unit there or that over here, either or. So there's that. I hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, share with friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Hellcracks out.